All right, folks, here we are again. Today we are looking at mounting a moving head spotlight to the top of a lighted truss pillar. So to start off, just letting you know, we've made this is a 1 meter stick of trussing. It's just over 3 feet tall. We're not usually gonna send this out to mount moving head spotlights to, because usually you wanna have your movers taller than people's sight lines. But for the sake of this video, to make things a little bit easier for us to handle, we've shortened things down, and hopefully it'll make things a little bit easier for everyone to see and do. So first things first, if we're mounting something to this, we wanna put something on top of it. So let's go over here. We're gonna grab our cap, our truss cap. We'll move our spandex sleeve down just a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in our cotter pins, just like we do on the base plate. All right, so now that that's secured, you can go ahead and put this away for a moment. And we'll go ahead and, actually, we can leave this down because there's a little bit of securing that we're gonna need to do when we get our moving head spotlight, which we're gonna get right now. So we'll roll our case in. We'll open up to reveal our fixtures. We're just gonna toss these to the side right now. This is your DMX cable, 10 feet long, as well as your PowerCon cable. Now, very similar to what we do with our speakers and a lot of our equipment, this is essentially going to be a spare. This is about a 6-footer, which kind of is a little too short in most of the situations that we have. So we try and send you all equipped with a 15-foot PowerCon cable, which will allow you to run from the top all the way down into your Chauvet BT Air Q12, which just helps out a lot when it comes to cabling. You won't need to attach a 25-foot extension to that. This just goes straight there. Okay, we'll set that aside as well. We're gonna go ahead and lift our moving head spotlight out of the case. You'll see with this one in my hand, there's no coupler underneath. This one does have it on there. If it is, if the coupler is there, that's for hanging the light from a truss. So if this were to be hanging from up here, you would need that coupler. But whenever you're mounting it to the top and setting it like this, you don't need that. So in this case, if that were on there, you would just want to remove it. Very simple to do. Just twist a couple of those wing nuts and you'll be good to go. You're gonna wanna set this with the LED screen facing out towards your audience so that all of your cables, your PowerCon cables, your DMX cables, they're located towards the back and they can run down the back of your truss pillar for a very clean look. We're only doing one of these today, so we can go ahead and roll our case out of the way at the moment. But we're gonna want now to go ahead and secure this fixture, which is pretty heavy. We want to secure it to our truss pillar as soon as possible to eliminate the chance of it falling over. To do that, we're going to use this ratchet strap. Now we found the best way to do this is to feed this underneath and then clamp it onto the handles of the actually, I'm gonna go through the handles because there is so much excess here. I'm actually gonna clamp to the other side. I think I'll do the same thing on this one too. All right, once you're clamped, we'll go ahead and tighten this down. Try to leave a little bit of space so that I can bundle up this excess strap. We can feed that through our clamp. There we go. clamp that up there. All right, that's not going anywhere. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead, we'll power it up, we'll DMX it up. Although to be honest, in this scenario where we're going to be focusing on using a custom monogram, you won't need this DMX, but we'll just go ahead and do it so you can understand how it's run for all other functions of this moving head spotlight. It's also important to remember that DMX runs in the opposite direction of XLR. Female side is in, male side is out. Again, this is what we would be connecting to our light controller. All right. And we'll go ahead and power this up, running it daisy chained into our Q12. Don't be alarmed by the weird shuddering. That's just how these fixtures reset themselves. So what we're gonna show you all now is how to focus this, how to arrange this and position this so you can project a custom gobo against a wall, whether it be a wedding or a special event that has a special logo or a monogram. This is a great fixture to use to get dialed in that logo, that custom brand. So what you're gonna do is you'll enter in to your screen here. You're gonna wanna toggle over. First you'll press menu to get into the screen, and then you'll toggle over to run mode. Press enter to head into there, and then you'll make your way down to manual. This is something that you could also do with DMX, but because this fixture has so many functions, you would need to use Show Express. And to be honest, if you're just setting up a custom monogram, it's much simpler to do manually. So, some simple values here. If you want to pan left to right, you can go into enter and you can press down to go right, or you can go up to swing back to the left. I'm gonna go ahead and aim it just right against the back wall here. Likewise, if you want to tilt, you can go down or up. You can really dial it in just by each value. It moves just a smidge. Now, if your client wants their monogram to be a different color, you can head up on up and use the gel wheel to transition to whatever color they've chosen. I believe there's about 8 different colors in that gel wheel. And then you're gonna make your way to the gobo. Gobo 2, don't mind that. That's a fixed gobo that remains in there, but gobo 1 is what you're gonna wanna be manipulating here. So you're gonna wanna scroll up until you get to your gobo. If you find that when you look at the actual light against the wall right now that it's hard to tell what it is, you're probably gonna wanna do a few things. You're either gonna wanna project against a different surface that's farther away, or also, I'm gonna turn this light down in intensity. Let's do something that's gonna help us out a little bit more. I'm gonna move this against a wall that's a little bit further away. Let's go over here. Sorry. We'll go right up in that corner there. For the sake of the video. I'll try and dial it in as best I can. Okay, and then we'll tilt it up. Whoop, too far. All right, cool. There it is. All right, and then we're gonna see if we can, in gobo 1. There we go. Let's take a look up there. You can actually see a gobo. Now imagine that being your custom monogram. That's looking pretty good actually for that space. I would say it just needs to be sharpened a hair. So there are 2 values that you really need to work on to dial that in, and that is your focus and your zoom. So let's go ahead, let's change the focus of this just a little bit. And you just go in either direction. You can see, obviously that direction is making it more out of focus. This is sharpening it up. We're gonna want those lines to be as sharp as possible. That's looking pretty good. That looks pretty good to me. So we'll enter that. And then You can also manipulate your zoom. So if you want it to be smaller or larger, I feel like we were at about as small as it could be. Let's say you wanted to fill the space just a little bit more. You can do that by zooming out. And then you're just gonna wanna head back since you're now at a different focal length. You're gonna wanna sharpen your focus once again. There we go. We filled out our space pretty nicely. Now you may notice that the outside rims of that gobo is just a little bit less filled with the color. And honestly, the reasoning for that is because we turned down the dimmer so it's less bright, just a little bit easier to look at. So right now I'm gonna turn that dimmer switch back up so we can fill it out. It's looking pretty good right there. So again, you're gonna wanna fill out the gobo, but not make it so bright that it's just painful to look at. All right, that's it. Looking pretty sharp. Your custom monogram, your custom gobo is up. It's mounted in the place that, or it's focused and positioned in the place that it's meant to be. And it's coming from a great looking fixture that's set atop a very elegant, very regal lighted truss pillar. This is just a fantastic way to add some extra flair to an event, to add a signature to an event. And we hope that you've learned a lot in how to set up a moving head spotlight custom monogram atop of a lighted truss pillar. Thank you so much.